So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to ask the pendulum whether it is going to answer questions to me. Last night it said no off camera and said that it was tired and so wanted to take a break. The eclipse had just gotten over, so I tried after 1 hour, but I was told no, just wait. So, okay, now we're back this morning. We will check, we'll see what the pendulum has to say. Since the eclipse has gotten over, I think we can now start asking some questions. If I have to clock this, it's about 10:34 in this camera. It should be about 10:45 under normal circumstances. It is 30th March 2025. It is a Sunday. The location is 560077 postcode. Okay. We take Shirdi Sai Baba's blessings. We take Gaur Mata's blessings. 1 minute, huh? We take Gaur Mata's blessings. We take Ganesh Ji's blessings. We take Shiv Ji's blessings, Shani's blessings, Hanuman's blessings, and Vishnu's blessings. Okay. Now we've done a small little offering. We take Shirdi Sai Baba's blessings from here. We've done a little offering. Okay. Since we'll also be eating it after some time. It's nothing, strawberry curd. Okay, so let me see if the no, I'm not waiting. Don't play sounds from my body and say something calm, wait. No, calm, not wait. That's an offering. Have some shame. I don't want to talk to you. Is the calm wait? These people who are lying, are they going to be taught a lesson in the future? You think they are very naughty? Okay, you look little knackered because otherwise you pushed the pendulum pretty strongly, but now you seem to be little tired. Are you tired still after the eclipse? Do you want me to still like kind of push the pendulum session for a little later? I was watching a TV serial called Blacklist. It's been around since 2023, but I haven't watched it at all till actually now this last 1 week, or I think about 1 week, 10 days. Now, you know what the surprising part is? Suddenly I started seeing Aarti Arta's face. I don't know if it is a deep fake or whether Aarti Arta actually moved to America under the identity and over crossover with the Taylor family. Whether it is Rajan Taylor, Preeti Taylor, Neema Taylor, and then Aarti Nanthur, called Arta. I don't know whether she actually moved abroad without letting us know. So I was pretty surprised to see that the foreign girl, whose name is some Megan Boone, over there on her face I see Aarti's face, and then later on I see Preeti's entire look-alike. But anyway, in that it's like 10 seasons, 22 episodes each in most cases. 22 is JAYA.ADVANI's birthday. There is only one season where it is 19. 19 is my birthday. Then 23 is Akhil. In one season, it is 23 episodes. That can either be Rajan Taylor or it can be Rajan Taylor or Akhil Gupta. So I was pretty surprised, that this is what it is. And nobody, I don't know, did This blacklist, the recording started much earlier, and is it that only Netflix put it out in 2023 and that is why we have 10 seasons all crammed with 2022 episodes? I don't think it is possible in 1 year to shoot so much. But all of it is put out in 23. These guys knew these guys were going for them. Because if we look at whatever happened, 22 is when I stayed at Holiday Inn Racecourse. Whatever happened there was very strange. That was July, August 2022. By episode, I think season 8 episode, I don't know which episode, towards the end. But in season 8, it looks like they killed Aarti Arta. But they have a replica of her. But if you think about it, Neena Masi also passed away around the same, I don't know, in and around that time. Varsha also soon got into an accident. But that body was disposed of and a replica was brought in. Okay, anyway, Blacklist actually is confirming about how blood transfusion and how you can actually change anything into anything. I think everybody should watch Blacklist. Primarily because all the crimes are mentioned over there. Everything that's happening in the world, these guys knew they were going to die soon. So they put out all the information for the world to understand. Now it's for you to understand. Even the Indian intelligence may be knowing, may not be knowing. One thing that I understand over here is Kanhaiya Lal or JAYA.ADVANI, when I was in college, spoke about what you two will be the stepsisters. Shilpa is going to be the queen. So who did he mention? Who did he mention? He mentioned Jaya, he mentioned Varsha, he mentioned Shilpa. Who didn't he mention? He did not mention Aarti, he did not mention Arta. But who is it who was played? Aarti Arta. So all the multinationals that I had dealt with from Times of India say one thing. You have to keep reading between the lines. What is said is not what it is. It is what is not mentioned is what it is. Now this is as early as 1990s. They must have bettered it, but they definitely know what it is. You keep doing cabal, I don't know what is cabal. Must be something, but according to me, I don't know what Raw is doing. Whether you are Raw or whether they have mixed into the Raw the ISI on the back of the Kasab thing that happened in Bombay. Because they are the ones who create the problems so that they can refix it their way. First you get that into your head. In every situation. Wherever they do the hoo-ha, that is something you have to look at. But I'm pretty sure what they go on and on about is everything you have to reject. What they don't mention left on the side is where your attention has to be to. I said it in 2019, जो दिखता है वो है नहीं और जो है तुमको दिखता नहीं है. So actually it is the same thing. Okay. Now I'm going to just try and Aarti has passed out of the body. Aarti Nanthur, Neena Masi. Oh, and one more thing that I have to establish. That version of my sister who ended up in a hospital went for a X-ray within 1 hour. Kira went down with her. That only was the sign that she has been disposed of. When that photo was sent to me to show she is back on the bed of the hospital, she was looking like Neena Masi. Neena Masi is Aarti's mother. But Neena Masi was on a wheelchair for 20 years. Okay, so whoever is in Bombay is not really who they say they are. The CIA knows how to identify who are replicas. So I don't think anybody from India or from Pakistan or from Kashmir should do anything to agents and intelligence who know what they are doing. Elon is going to meet someone in the CIA. You get rid of anyone, God help you. They've been doing this for very long. Now I want to identify, because they know how to identify the genome sequencing, they know how to identify who are the replicas. They were able to do it in, I think, episode, I don't know in which episode, but in season, within the first 1-2 seasons, they've addressed it. So what I'll do is I'll try to find it so I can show it to you without copyright issues. Read it for what it is. Okay, if I can just tell you, it is episode 12 in season 1. I can't show it to you. It's Blacklist. It has been put on Netflix 2023. There are 10 seasons. James Spader is the key in the entire setup with Megan Boone. Now, The Alchemist number 101, which is in Blacklist, it is season 1, episode 12. The FBI's latest target, known as the Alchemist, protects the guilty by manipulating the DNA of the innocent. So it is called DNA manipulation. Okay? How do they do that? That's what I'll try to find. They figure it out because the teeth were replaced. Okay, they're able to look at that and the teeth gets replaced, so they come to know who the duplicate is. Okay, so in the episode they mention doubles for an entire family. Basically, it requires the work of a scientist who is a specialist in DNA, is what she says. Calls him a lab rat. Mentions, calls the guy tassels, Tassels, something to do with tassels. And there is a Treadle who has a lab in the basement. With some serial numbers on it. So they're looking for manufacturers of instruments that sequence DNA. I don't want to show the screen, but over here they're showing how somebody is under sedation, and there is a blood transfusion that's happening. It's got to do with the red blood corpuscles and the white blood corpuscles. It's very nascent, and it's got to do with some genetic sequencing that they keep editing and adding and subtracting as one of the things, the blood corpuscles. So anyway, according to my understanding, if you look at Blacklist and you look at the entire thing in entirety, this way they have spoken about lots of things that actually have happened in the back, or whether it is got to do with biotech, whether it is got to do with chemicals, whether it is got to do with genealogy and genomes and the sequencing. So whoever it is who actually needs to understand where the criminals are at, this Blacklist is a very good place to tap into to understand what is what. Okay, I'm going to leave it at this only. Okay, so they have everything on files. The way my reading was talking about things on files, they have everything on files in hard drives. People's, whatever they want to edit, they do it through the drives on which they save the information connected to, you call it CRISPR. They're like DNA panels, is what he's talking about. And then the sequencing on them, how to change it. So, actually something like a printer. The printers who print files, what do? For the pigmentation, for the distortion of a picture, or then absolute sharp pigmentation. Then the mix of the 4 colors, so that you get what colors on the back of it. So this is a medical way of manipulating DNA and gene sequencing, including the bone marrow, and then taking bone marrows to replace things or change things in people. But it's similar to the printing process. I know it sounds a little very technical, but it's along those lines. And you can, so genetic breakdowns, okay, you have to break the genetics down. Medical and dental records have to be looked at. So autopsies are very, very important. The cause of death is not really important. Any body that passes away, the autopsy needs to be done, because in the autopsy you will be able to figure out whether that's an original or a duplicate that died. This is how people are declaring themselves dead but are actually alive. This is not a joke. And yes, I think some of the authorities are aware of it. They're all dreaming of lots of money and of better times. What they don't understand is it can't work that way. Okay, so they need to have the bone marrow drawn, tissue samples pulled out. Okay, those are some things that need to be done. In this particular case, in this episode, they found the difference on the back of the teeth. Okay, that it had been replanted in somebody else's mouth. They're 2 exact people, absolutely exact, but they're 2 different actually births. So they actually support the guilty people and punish the they punish the victims and place the guilty into homes of the victims, and then mess around with everything. This is what I've been trying to tell you for the longest time. Okay. This is Blacklist, which I would like everyone in the intelligence in India to watch, because this is an absolute giveaway of what has happened in the background. These are real. They are not lying. That's the list. So it is season 1 and whatever episode I told you earlier, which is actually talking about the DNA. It's called The Alchemist. But the seasons are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Season number 7 has only 19 episodes. Everything else has 22 episodes. Season number 3 has 23 episodes. Otherwise, everything has 22 episodes. Season 3 has 23 episodes. Season 4 22, Season 5 22, Season 6 22, Season 7 19 episodes. 8 is where she looks like Preeti Zinta along with Arti Nantor, a mix between the two. Don't know if they are doing deepfake. I don't think so. I think this is more serious than that. Okay, more serious than that. Then season 9, 22 episodes, and season 10, 22 episodes. This is where it ends. Somewhere in season 8, she comes to know the truth about her whole situation. Her whole life has been a lie. But I have a feeling in season 8, season 9, sometimes this girl was done away with. She has a replica. They're not one replica. I'm 100% even at Sharanya's time when my niece was born. There's one in America, one in India. The one who's the original is no more. That's what the pendulum said last time. My niece is actually, she exited as a tot. Her look-alike is in Europe. In the happy chocolate family, that baby is shown over there. So much of it is the little tot. But that tot has already exited. Okay, so anyway, we just want you to look at this for your own knowledge, and that's about it. Okay, we just want you to look at it for your own knowledge of what is actually happening out over there in the world. You need to update yourself. That's one of the reasons I think I'm not allowed to move out. There are many people in my family who have already been at the receiving end. These guys were warning you because they knew the cabal was going for them. So those episodes actually indirectly are warning you of what all has happened in the background. It's not a joke. You stop your fucking dance drama because you're noise factor, you're digression, you are not allowing the authorities to work the way they are meant to work. All the bloody fucking foul nonsense that goes out of your fucking mouth is all the shit nobody should be spending even half a minute on. According to my understanding, people in India at the bottom of the pyramid knew about all these changes as early as 2009. Now you tell me. Yes, Suman Towers, 1401 Suman Towers. Suburban Northern, Bombay. Except they themselves then got confused in changing sequencing people where they were not sure who is what. Okay, can I continue asking you things on the pendulum? If I can just reiterate one thing. You earlier have mentioned something to do with Sweden, Wales, Norway, Finland. But then isn't that where the eclipse happened? I just realized that, hey, 1 minute, the entire eclipse happened in the northern Atlantic Ocean. And it is connected with the east coast of Canada as well as the west coast, or then a large portion of all the countries you mentioned. So you people were over there in the afterlife. In that, what do you do over there? When you go over there, what do you do? You try to save the situation. Are there going to be any after effects of this eclipse that happened in that area going forward? Do you see any effects happening? Any kind of water issues happening in that area going forward? It lasts for how long? 6 months? Okay, what I want to know is, did Arta Nantur lose her life during the shooting of this blacklist because they were giving too much information out about what was happening in the background? Did these episodes get put out on an expedited basis to warn the public in some form or the other, trying to put information out over there? Was that an effort? Again, let me ask you, is Arta Nantur, is she in the body, physical body as of now? Did Arta Nantur, did she leave her physical body? Is she gone to the afterlife? Is it just a case of moving out of one form to another form? Like means genome sequencing? Is that what you're talking about? Like taking somebody else's genes? Or editing genes just to look like somebody else with a new identity? Is that the kind of death you're talking about? You're saying Arti Nantur is actually whatever was her birth form, to any gene sequencing or any facial changes, in case she did that, you're saying all that left behind. You're saying the physical form is left behind? So they have exited, she has exited out of the body. Nina Masi, her mother, is alive? Is Nina Masi still in the body? Is Nina Masi in the physical body? My sister Varsha, who is DNA related to me by JAYA.ADVANI's family, as well as Parpati and Ramchand Sadrangani's family, is she still in the physical body? Whatever these people have cut out of Mr. JAYA.ADVANI's side of the family from my body, they have gene edited it. Have they done that? Are they going to be taught a lesson because they did that? Did they do that to Nikhil Advani as well? Did they remove JAYA.ADVANI's genes from Nikhil as well? Nikhil Advani as well? Mr. JAYA.ADVANI was the one who came from a better background. Was Mr. JAYA.ADVANI a spy of any kind in India? Was Mr. JAYA.ADVANI a noble-blooded person who primarily was not good at business? Okay, since the eclipse is over, can I ask you a question related to my own personal journey going forward? Again, let me ask you. Now we have already transferred from Saturn, Mahadasha and Antardasha. Now it has already moved to Saturn, Mercury, Saturn Mahadasha and Mercury Antardasha as of last night. Of course, Mercury is retrograde and debilitated for the world. In I think one and a half months time, that will also be set straight. Generally during the Mercury Antardasha, whether it was Rahu Mercury or it was Jupiter Mercury, I've always traveled abroad. In fact, if we go earlier than that, when it was Mars Mercury also, I had to travel. That was both to Singapore as well, Singapore, Malaysia, and then after 1-2 years to America. It was in and around that time only. In this time, am I supposed to travel outside of India? Do you see it in the timeline? Am I going to end up getting gene edited when I move abroad? Are they going to gene edit me in some way? Is it safe? Am I going to get my JAYA.ADVANI genes back? They've removed it and edited the rascals, useless people. Am I going to be getting it back? So because this, and is there still a connection to Norway, to Sweden, to Scotland, to Wales, to England, to Finland? Is there still some journey connected with that place? That's where the miscreants have been functioning from. That's where the criminals are at, who've been doing all this nonsense. Okay, so I think we understand this. You talk nonsense about me, God help you. It is over there only the solar eclipse has happened. I'm a Hindu by birth and by upbringing. Welfare of humanity does not have actually a religion. True welfare of humanity is when you are in a state of nothingness, which is the Atma, which everybody has to go back to. That is more in line with being Advait, because everybody has to go back to the soul form. But in that soul form, which is closer to the concept of being Advait, Vishnu still has 14 realms. So true welfare of humanity is when you, your ancestors, your descendants, when they are in a state of being the soul, they manage to have earned as a reward for good existence, whether in body or in soul. Of course, the higher, more peaceful realms. That is true welfare for humanity. So when we are traveling with each other in short spans, in various cycles, we should ensure that when we are talking about welfare for humanity, it actually is just that. So then if we have to understand what is welfare for humanity, half a lie even Yudhishthira couldn't get away with. Then what do we address when it comes to gross manipulation? How do we address that? Okay, so let's just see. Are you with me? Did I just have some curd? Did I eat 2 apples after that? Did you bless it? Did you eat it? Because it was first offered and then eaten. Okay, is Arta in an okay place now? Because I'm sure her mom would be concerned. With her, there were others on her journey that have not got good places. Did they drop Shirdi Sai Baba's small, let's just say the small, there's an old small photo of Shirdi Sai Baba. It's not the big one that is shown, it is the small one. So when I went to remove the cover on the temple yesterday night, what I saw was that also had fallen face down. So I had to put it in another place and put it up properly. That was because of taking the fall for some people. On the back of the eclipse, okay, so if I can show it to you, so that, yeah, I think better to just address it here and now. I don't know whether you'll be able to actually see it, but I should actually address it. Okay. So if you can see, it's very tiny. It's just here on this side. It's been moved. These have been moved on this side. It used to be on that side. Krishna also had fallen earlier, but Shirdi Sai Baba was face down on the floor on this side, closer to the planted pots to the balcony outside. Okay, so he was picked up and put away properly on this side, on that stand, on the last. Yeah, I think it was on the last shelf. Okay, along with Krishna and Amritanandamai Mata's photo on this side. Okay, I don't get worked up about these things at times, otherwise I do, but I didn't feel I needed to get worked up this time, because I kind of understood from past history also that sometimes these saints, they manage things in some way. So whatever could be very big, they reduce it and they take it on themselves in some way. So first, and I also straighten that out. If you see, that was lopsided. That used to be lopsided. Shirdi Sai Baba's photo was lopsided. I said I'll straighten it after the eclipse gets over. So I did that yesterday. Okay. And the reason why I do believe he was working, this group that goes to the higher realms, because I said, who is it who talks to me, right? We got Shirdi Sai Baba's name, we got the saints, we got the Sant. That's how I know that he was at work. Okay. Okay, can I continue with the pendulum session? What I said so far about the temple, is it at least 50-55% true? I could have mistaken 1-2 things, but for most part of it, am I along the proper track of explaining what happened? Okay, Shirdi Sai Baba has been telling me to do the Ramayana. I should do the Ramayana. the miscreants will get caught on the back of doing the Ramayana. Whoever has been estranged or has been dispersed or just sent to different directions, whoever's left over from the Advani Sadrangani family, will we manage to find each other and regroup? Do you actually see that happening in the timeline going down forward? Katrina is part of our setup. Is Katrina our real blood relative? Katrina Kaif is my real blood relative by DNA and by whatever. Are Ravi Varsha aware of it? The real Ravi Varsha, the ones who got married together, are they aware of the situation fully? And the real Ravi Varsha live in India? Varsha, whose DNA related to me by DNA, genuine, no editing. She lives in India. Is she actually kind of poverty stricken at the moment? Does she have financial problems of any kind abroad? What about Ravi? They're okay, they're managing. Okay, that's good to know because I was very worried about that. Okay, now you say I should wait. There is somebody who's going to pick me up from here. Should I do the visa myself and travel myself abroad? I'm going to close this and re-ask it because someone on purpose moved my hand. So I don't want to, I don't like manipulation. They manipulate holding the hand and twisting it. Yesterday they were twisting this thumb of mine. इरिटेट करते हैं पर्पसली. हमारा जो फाइल है पता नहीं कहाँ पे है, यूरोप में कहीं पे है. पूरा रात बकते रहते हैं. आई एम स्लीपिंग टॉकिंग ऑल द टाइम टॉकिंग. They just don't know how to keep their mouth shut. Okay, if I can ask you a question. The Shambhavi, 2006 sometime, she said, the astrologer says, I'm going to be a new form. I'm going to be a completely new person. So I said she's going to weight loss kuch karegi. And she used to be very lanky and pretty and like a model when she was seeing my cousin. After she got married, after a couple of years, suddenly she became very fat. So I said, I don't know what happened. But anyway, both of them have become big, nice and fat. So all the time they're eating from the restaurants is what my aunt is complaining. At 3 in the morning, all the time, either her mother is sending big tiffins and she doesn't cook anything in the house. And till 3 in the morning, they are partying all the time. And then in the night at 2 and 3, all the time they are calling food from the restaurant. So I said, okay, so because both of them are eating too much, she's become fat. So when you go to an astrologer, maybe what the astrologer now, she's got married in 97. Now we're 2005, 2006 when she says, I went to the astrologer and the astrologer says I'm going to get a new form, new body and I'm going to be absolutely renewed. So I said, okay, very good. And she puts all these colorful feathers in her hair and so she's very fashionable and things. So I say, okay, very good. So someone's putting her on she's putting it that way, but I think Koshi auntie must have caught her because when I had become fat in the 9th, 10th standard, Koshi auntie had told me, you've got too much body fat on your body. Do the Jane Fonda exercises, stand in front over here, this is the video cassette, go to the TV room and over do some exercises. You need to lose all that, otherwise later on it'll become very tough. I said it is possible Kochi auntie caught her also and said you need to reduce, or told the astrologer, tell her that she'll now become renewed. So she's got married in 97. By 2005 now she's settled. So it's like 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 2000, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's now nearly 8 years into the marriage. So okay, she's also more open and full of fun. So she establishes this, but she's very serious about being renewed and absolutely coming into a new form. I'm saying, was she told, did she know did something like this happen to her? As early as 2005-6. She was definitely around in 2005. She was definitely around in 2006. It says she's alive. She's very much in the body. She's not left it. But if I have to re-ask the question, which should I do my own visa travel? Should I be traveling and making my visa to travel abroad? Will somebody be coming here to fetch me? Will somebody be coming here to pick me up? They're trustworthy. Are we going over there to work in some capacity like housekeeping and all? Will we be exiting on our own identity? You are talking about JAYA.ADVANI sitting over here physically at J1801 Purva Palm Beach, or you're talking about me who's sitting at J1801 Purva Palm Beach 560077 18th floor? You are addressing me about me? Would you say we are already in the midst of a third world war which started much earlier and very different from anything fought ever before? Because it affected all the corporates and it affected all the armies, but in a very sneaky manner, in a very different way. Would you call it that the third world war had already started? Are we coming close to the end of it? Will life go back to normal after that and decent, with everyone being able to regroup to their original families? In this timeline going forward, do you see me actually partnering with another man, since my first marriage was a sham? Do you see me partnering with a proper man from a proper background and a proper decent upbringing, more in line with my own upbringing and my own whatever it is that was expected from Mr. Advani's family, without all the dance drama that these people have done in between? Will we be having to hang around those who did the dance drama, or primarily did any kind of shape shifting, taking identities of people that they were not? Will we have to hang around with that poor quality? Will that poor quality going forward be found out for whatever deeds they've done? Calling it Advait, but will they be found out soon? The bunch that has been sent away, there were some boys over there that fought with Shirdi Sai Baba and knocked his photo off. Those Atmas have left from this house. Have they been moved to their forward journey to the realms wherever they have to go? Was that done conjunct with the eclipse, or prior to it, or during it? I don't know. The eclipse though didn't happen in India, it happened elsewhere. But have they been sent to their homes? Am I supposed to move on to new projects? Is that project now done and over with? Am I supposed to do the Ramayana in between before starting the new project? Because if I understand Shirdi Sai Baba, he kind of weans things off and then moves to the next thing and makes me do the Ramayana in between. Is that what's happening? This current read that was going on, am I supposed to continue with it? Do you still want me to continue with it? Okay, so I'm going to put the pendulum down and I'm going to continue with the read. The read is, the question is, who is the Atma who's talking to me, and then on it, what are the other things associated with it. So we got that it is saints, it is Sant, it is Sai, it is Anite, and it is An, connected with An in some way, connected with Kani, connected with, yeah, those were the key names that we got. So I will put this down and I'll continue with the read. I really think you people should watch Blacklist, all 10 seasons, and every episode. You can quickly scan through it in case you don't have the time and you're not looking for a sitcom. But the key issues connected with whatever it is, what you can do is probably start backwards. You'll understand. It's like KGB, CIA, FBI, Cabal, key players. We are only raw over here, and that is only ISI. Illuminati has been stolen from. Wherever the dance drama is where you don't look. What is not mentioned is the culprit. Okay, so the last that I got over here, and yes, according to what I understood is there's a very close link to the northern part of Europe. So if you realize, what is it that Akshay Kukreja was telling me all the time when I was in New Zealand in 2011, he was doing Edinburgh. Now, I've never been to Scotland, so I don't know anything about Scotland. I've not even gone to Dubai. Swear on God, I've not gone to Dubai. Most people go at least to Dubai. I've always gone to the east, so I have been to Thailand, Bangkok, and those places, but to the east, all the way to Australia and New Zealand and China. So I've done travel, but to the east of the globe from India. But when Akshay Kukreja was talking about Edinburgh, he's primarily talking about Edinburgh. In Edinburgh is what? Edinburgh or Edinburgh. He's spoken about being on a revenge mode. That was he was staying at University Waikato grounds as a student in one of the cottages in Orchard Park. But then what I read in the internet YouTube is that Edinburgh, I don't know, but when it comes to Scotland, every second lane has a castle in it. And there are many castles that are not kept up to mark, or they've become like heritage sites. But people don't really want to see one castle after another. You see a couple, you come to know what it is. But at every, let's say every fifth lane, if there's going to be some castle which is like, it could be a heritage site, it may not be a heritage site. All castles, amongst all the castles, they say there are around 600, 800 of them or 400 of them. Not all of them are going to be actually in the center of the city. How many are going to be in the far off places, like the suburban areas of. So what if this girl had gone to a particular castle, but that castle, and that's where I was shown with the python, and she's told, you've got lots to learn. So it was conjunct to the Ek Tha Tiger and Jab Tak Hai Jaan shooting. The tub was mentioned for the Jab Tak Hai Jaan. And prior to that, Ek Tha Tiger, I was shown this, I think, in the first quarter of 2012. Her final, whatever happened to her, was in Auckland. Sometime in July, August, September 2012. Not that she was done away with, I don't know what happened to her. Don't know. Okay. Now, I don't know what is this. For your information, link Kabir Gupta and ATSE. Well, there is KG, there is SG, his father Subhash Gupta. KG is Koshi Gupta too. AG is not even mentioned here, that's Akhil Gupta. You can't, because there is, if we take away this and we put AG, Ni should be Advani. So for your information, KG, AG, SG, Koshi, Kabir, and then there's NG, Nitish Gupta, Akhil Gupta, Kabir Gupta, Koshi Gupta, and Subhash Gupta. Ni should be Advani. So there is some link meant for ATS to find, connected with the Advanis and connected with the Guptas. It's very simple. My father's youngest sister, Kaushalya Advani, got married to Mr. Subhash Gupta. But Mr. Subhash Gupta has a very established presence. Before they moved to Bangalore, they used to live in Urvashi building in Bombay at Carmichael Road. He was sent to Germany for 1-2 years. Their family were much richer than the Advanis. And my father was a sole earner through his business for the Advani family. He had to get both his sisters married. His older sister Kailash got married, very well off, and she was settled. Now it was Koshi Gupta's, Kaushalya Advani's chance to get married in time to come. She met Subhash Gupta in JB Pettit School in one of their jam sessions, 8th, 9th, 10th standard jam session. They became friends. Neither family actually was okay with it. He got sent away to Germany because they were in the steel, Hans Steel was theirs, HANSSTEEL. So they used to do like steel castings and things like that. They had 2 factories. One was in Thana, the other one was here in Bangalore, Mysore Road. They sold all that property. He's not the only brother. There are many brothers. There are like 3 of them. and one sister. His sister was married to a jockey in Pune. He's very well known, Imtiaz Seth. So they're a very well established family. According to my understanding, if there is any foul play, it is the shapeshifters. Because you got to study the history of the family, you got to see if they had these tendencies earlier, then come to conclusions. If there is nothing in the records against them earlier, but after a particular time things start going wrong, then you should understand almost immediately it's a shapeshifter. And on the back of this that has happened, there are plenty of people who were used. Either the excuse was to feel the experience, to get a taste of the experience, to live somebody else's life, or then if it came to somebody who was connected with government, bridging the gap of inequality between the rich and the poor, or then still better, social justice from NGO point of view. But most of them are criminals, because there is no excuse for criminal behavior, none whatsoever. You earn it, you get it, you live it. You steal it, no matter what excuse is made by you. It is stealing. You lie, you manipulate, you call it manifestation. You want to glorify stealing, you want to glorify lies and call it manifestation. Then that is you at your bestest worstest. Always remember one thing. जब तू अद्वैत बात करता है तो हर जो कोई है कीड़ा मकोड़ा से लेके बना के फ्रॉम अ पैरासाइट टू अ जर्म to the full-fledged highest evolution, the human body, with no trappings of artificiality added to it. Everybody, the ashes go back to dust and the breath merges with the air, which means we become spirit. But in that spirit where we are actually then all Advait in that state, yet Vishnu has 14 realms. You explain that to me. And 14 realms for those people who in the human evolution form generally get fitted into, because that's, but frankly, there are realms higher than even the highest of the 14th realm on the top and lower than the lowest at the bottom, called Patal. So the lowest is Patal, the highest is what? What? Satyaloka. Satya means truth. So if in that state also there are 14 realms and beyond, then what sense you are making? When you are talking about big terminologies like social justice, this, that, and welfare for humanity, then if Yudhishthira couldn't get away with half a lie, then all your manipulation to force things and mix it all up, trying to play God, where are you actually doing any kind of justice? And what level of injustice are you doing? People are any which ways with a baggage, a contract. How much more are you adding onto their contracts, which is not good for them or their ancestors going forward? So where do you make any sense? And where are you always self-serving in most cases? Now ATS is, this is already happened in the past, so they know what it is all about. Let's hope they've come to conclusions. Okay. Ni is Advani. SG is Subhash Gupta, I feel. Could be Singapore also. AG is Akal Gupta. NG is Nitesh Gupta. KG is Koshi Gupta and Kabir Gupta. Ni is all of us who are Advanis. Kaushalya Advani was from the Ni family called Advani. Yeah, so good, na? It's good for all of us. Glee English link Glee ATS. Faye. हमने कल बोला अगर ये लोगों को कुछ प्रॉब्लम होगा नॉर्वे एंड ऑल में तो मे बी whoever needs like in case they want to camp over here for a little time it's okay. My pendulum said absolutely not. They're not allowed over here. You want to ask? I'll ask. अभी पूछते हैं. Because Shirdi Sai Sacharita says if somebody is in need then it's okay. You should give them some kind of shelter. So yesterday did I ask a question? Yesterday I asked you about the solar eclipse and let's say in case there is some water issue on the back of it going forward for some places. Then did we mention Katrina Kaif and her relatives? Did I say okay then they can hang around over here in case? Did you accept it? Shirdi Sai Baba cordoned this house off because that's what he showed me 3 times with white marking. Did he cordon this house off? What I saw, was it cordoned off in some way? We are allowed to bring people in over here. Is that one of the reasons you have arranged that we primarily live on our own over here? Is it for our own safety and for our own good? Is that one of the reasons you say I'm not to travel going forward? I mean, not till I'm fetched from here. Is that one of the reasons that we're not supposed to really step out? Is that true? Is it like being in prison? Do you consider this like a prison sentence? Does this activity actually help authorities to figure out things in the larger perspective? Is it from that perspective to help them figure things out? Including, you told me not to remove what's in my ear. You said it can be removed. You said don't do it because it helps some people to figure out some other things. Is that true? Okay, so it's doing the same thing it did yesterday. Okay, but that was like off camera and I was told that the Atma didn't want to talk to me at that point in time, would be back in the morning because she was tired. And not tired, they were still busy with something. So I should not interfere. So I just let it be. So over here it just says that the ATS were at Glee with the link. Either the ATS was from England or they connected the knees to England in some way, or they connected something to England in some way. Okay. Then it says Glee Fat Link, or Glee England Link, say fat. Now who's fat, I have no idea, but they were very gleeful about a link. Maybe the ATS is from England or is not from England. Who's fat, we don't know. Let me ask. The Advani connection is with England. The Kef connection is with England. The ATS that was gleeful was from England. The Fatso was from England. The link was fat. The link was to do with English, if not England. Is it something to do with English? The fat is somebody who shapeshifted for Elon? Or was it Koshi Auntie? Or was it Artha? Or was it Shambhav E? The connection to English was put upon who? The Advani family? Is it true? Is there some link to the English in some way? Is it got to do with the genome and to do with the, I don't know, something to do with the gene trait? This is what Varsha told me. Go do your thalassaemic minor test. In 2005, in and around where she was having problems with Sharanya, or may have been the end 2004, where she was trying to, there were too many hassles with Sharanya's birth. That's because she was also thalassaemic minor and so was Ravi Undalani. So she said, you also must be having this trait. You just go do your thalassaemic minor test because you still have a chance. You could still have a child. You're only 30, 31 years old. So I did it and I was thalassaemic minor. Was that report misused by anybody? My identity was transferred to somebody else? That thalassaemic minor thing was transferred to somebody else? Was it primarily to prove that in the genealogy it went to somewhere abroad? That person who stole my genealogy, are they still in the body? Are they still alive? In the body, physically in the body? So am I relatively safe now? Because I haven't been safe even when I went to New Zealand, I felt. That's what I was saying. I mean, somehow I just really felt it was very strange. It's never happened with me in the past. Would you say I'm physically relatively safe as of now compared to before? Did they exchange me for somebody else in New Zealand thinking it was me that they were getting rid of? So somebody kind of saved my life on purpose over there? It was a mistake on somebody's part? That means they twisted me so much that I don't look like an Advani at all? That even they were not convinced that I'm an Advani. But now would they be able to figure out that I'm an Advani? I'm the same Jaya from 1973. They'd be able to figure it out. Are my report cards from school still around? Okay, so anyway, all that's been destroyed. It's not that someone was looking to say, watching out for me. They were there to basically get rid of who they thought was the appropriate Advani. Since we didn't argue with anybody when the rules of our cottage were different from all the other cottages, we didn't argue it. It's in our nature not to argue uselessly simply because, well, it's an institution. I'm not the only person living alone in the cottage. We are sharing it with 3 more people. House rules are house rules, we follow it. It's not that we're dying in our ego. We lived a very simple life, but we are an Advani. So if you created a monster by word of mouth, which is what Mary Fitzgerald, my retail management teacher, had spoken about, word of mouth, word of mouth. Also, she spoke about chipping chips into the hand to do all kinds of transactions. If you are going to believe the word of mouth, but you don't really spend time to get to know a person personally, that you yourself get fooled and don't recognize that as that about whom you heard so many stories over so many years, starting 1986, 1990 sometime, or earlier than that. Yet when you people have met me face to face, the pendulum is saying it was a mistake. You didn't do it with the viewpoint of saving me. I got saved, but the exchange was a mistake. But then you've been hearing rumors about me. This is the 2011-12. You've been hearing rumors about me ever since when? Or about my family must be from the 70s, 60s. Since when you've heard the rumors? All the way from India, Bombay, one obscure little house, all the way to where? But when you yourself have been fooled, when you meet the real JAYA.ADVANI, you're not willing to believe it simply because lies has become truth for you. But you are what positions around the world? That you yourself take a decision about who is JAYA.ADVANI. Who is not JAYA.ADVANI? I am JAYA.ADVANI. I am Jaya Kanyalal Hukumatrai Advani. Not A.Advani, Advani. Whatever be the yes, my grandfather is a landlord. You got a problem? In spite of them dividing themselves into their brothers, he got about, I don't know, 400 to 600 acres. That is pre-division, that is post-division, amongst, I don't know, 2-3 brothers or 4-5 brothers. I'm not even sure how many they were. Must be minimum 3. So obviously he came from an okay background from Sindh. Otherwise, why would you chase our tail? What is so great about us? But then if your perception is so great, your knowledge is so great about who is good, who is bad, and who should be by free will taught a lesson, because you think somebody is bad, but you yourself, who has heard all the rumors over all the years, was unable to recognize the real JAYA.ADVANI, Mr. Hukumat Rai, Advani's granddaughter, then how good are you at judgment? You had a quasi court on my back with some who's who fools at Indian soil. You did Banana Republic on my back. So how good are you actually? So when my chance comes to putting you in your place, what did I always maintain? Here we are in a very limited capacity. Even the richest man on earth, the most intelligent man on earth, is in his limited capacity compared to his expanded form in the realms when he leaves the body, especially if he goes to the higher realms. So what did I tell you just this morning? What was I saying? I said when it comes to this 40% lot, best is that they are put to rest at a spirit form according to the earnings due, or then let's just say whatever the balance of accounts are, wherever the balance sheet is heavier on, better they settle over there without us having to really involve ourselves. You are understanding? You are understanding? Okay, so this could be also the skin. Let's see what is the skin. Yes, the glee of the fat is English skin, but that can be Koshi auntie maybe. So maybe somebody from English skin had been shapeshifted into our home and plugged into our home without our knowledge. So then they have transferred lots of people in and out of people's homes, including that who has told me, I just want to take a knife and stab you 3 times. I was really loved by my family. My dadi stayed with my father, so she never even bothered about the boys born in our family because they were her daughter's sons living in Bangalore. I was like the apple of her eye. I was the apple of the eye of my Masi also, and my mother's side of the family, because I was the oldest first child born over there. I actually grew up with a lot of love. My father always maintains something really nice about his 2 daughters, whether it's me or Varsha. Then to suddenly see this guy, he says, he's always in a rage. And we don't know, and this is why we don't really spend time with him. We say, perhaps as he's growing old, he wants to feel like, as you grow old, you become weaker. So in that case, you want to feel like, you're back to your full strength, and he's a man. So if you're a man and you've been a single dad and you've always had your say, then perhaps, we feel, okay, he needs to be in charge. Let him be in charge. The whole house is his. So we just stay away. So he can decide everything he decides. And hopefully he feels happy about himself. But every time we just interact, he says, I want to take a knife and I want to stab you. I'm going to spend 1 lakh and have you killed in an accident. Now the point is, did you put somebody else's and a criminal's ego on my father? Or did you remove my father and bring a criminal into my father's place? At one point in time, I've seen my father limping. Another time I see him tall, fat, fluffy and all in charge, fair. Then sometimes we see him small, short, absolutely thin and little brown, and I look at him, he's got like eyes which I don't know what it is about his energy. Twice I say we have to be very careful of this guy, and trust me, within half an hour, 40 minutes, he actually shows those traits. He has to be rude, he has to be snide, he has to show the trait that there is something questionable with what he does. Now I can't have imagined all these things. You're calling me Armin? I'm from Armin. Armin seems nice, but I've never been there. I'm Armin. Are you sure I'm Armin? I don't think I'm Armin. I'm actually, I'm JAYA.ADVANI's granddaughter. I don't know, I should look for my baby photo and show it to you actually, where my mum is holding me. She's wearing a cotton sari with pearls around her neck and she's holding me like as if I'm like a what do you call the baby? Like a loaf of bread. Well, when like these cats go and make themselves a loaf, that's how the baby looks, swaddled. I don't understand why you have to make everything flowery and dramatic. Now, if it's like a loaf of bread, it's like a loaf of bread. I don't understand why you have to make everything like, flowery and sentimental. No, it's looking like a loaf of bread. It is a baby, but that baby's become big, very well loved, very well taken care of. Instead of, and that's the actual hard work without the dramatics. But if at that point in time it looks like a loaf of bread, and that loaf of bread is me looking like that, where my mother's holding me, when I'm only about maybe few months, I don't even know, I think I'm new from the hospital, then I look like a loaf of bread. It looks like swaddled that way, like a loaf of bread. Y'all people, you people do all the dance drama, but then on the ground, on the back of that dramatics and dance drama, so much goes into the grey. And if you look at what you actually constructively contribute, no, it's all fluff. Whereas if I say, oh, I look like a loaf of bread at that point in time, alright, then hand it to my parents and everybody in our circle, in spite of looking like a loaf of bread, they bent backwards to make sure I had a happy childhood. Why don't you look at the actions? Okay, not sure what this is saying over here. It says either U or Y. The English were at glee. Kabir's mother was fat. As I said, Artha was larger built, at least in our face. Shambhav E was larger built. Umesh was larger built. So anyway, somebody was very gleeful, connected with Kabir Gupta and his family. That can be his own mother, Koshi Gupta, can be Shambhav E, his cousin's wife, can be Arta, who's actually not directly connected to him, can be, yeah, these are all the people who were with the weight on them. Somebody amongst them was an English. And sniffing means basically, according to me, is kind of doing the intelligence work. And that's what they chanced upon. But did they chance upon who is edited and on what grounds? My teeth, I don't think anyone has restructured. They are my original teeth. It's just that in the editing, someone from Europe or somebody who came to our home, they cut off the genes of Mr. Hukumat Rai Advani, at least from me. And you got me to look like my mom. Sometimes I look at myself and I look exactly like my mom. My hair also, you make it completely white. I don't know if you're doing deep fake. Don't do that. But in the mirror also, sometimes I see I'm looking different all the time. Sometimes I'm brown and ekdam something. Then sometimes I'm very white and curly hair. So you have been changing things around. Some skittle. Yeah, these are the miscreants, Na and Fa. When skittling to whom? Probably to SG, to KG, to the IG. Probably when skittling to Subhash Gupta, Koshi Gupta. The best part about this, Nikhil Advani and Aarti Nanthur. Or Arta Nanthur. Nikhil Advani and Aarti Nanthur. It is Aarti who looped all the identities, right? That's what we got on a couple of occasions. It's Aarti who did the looping. वो होता है thread and needle, सुई, tailoring, jabbing with the needle also. So anyway, over here, whoever did the skittling to Subhash Gupta, to Kabir Gupta, to Koshi Gupta, maybe to Nitesh Gupta. That's when the nose got affected. Aarti Nantur or then Nikhil Advani in some way, and Fa being that version of Varsha who who shapeshifted for the mother also and shapeshifted for the daughter also. I think she's the one who had osteoporosis, brittle bones. वो शामलू तो नहीं थी, because Shamlu is the one who actually from the very beginning was, as soon as she got married to Kabir, she was diagnosed for thyroid. But Shamlu is tall and she doesn't look anything like my mom or my sister. But the giveaway is the brittle bones and the bone density. The one who came to my home also had very old hands. You put Madhav E's, or I don't know whose photo on photo you put. The next day, the people who were cleaning the common space outside, they did lots of noise and all. So I don't know why they did what they did. They seemed to know who the girl who had come to my home, with whom I did take photos. I will not be deleting those photos. I'll be keeping it. But that girl is no more in the body. Because soon after she came here, was very happy, like, I gave her some little knickknacks and all, which she didn't eat over here. She took it with her. But she seemed genuinely pleased that I was settled okay, like relieved that I was settled okay. But the point is, within 1 to 3 months of that only, my sister ended up in an accident in the auto where she's gone with Ravi, and that they're duplicates of the entire family. My sister, my genuine sister, has no child. That child was done away when she was pretty young. That one tot has how many replicas? At least 2. One in India, one abroad. Dittos. It is only the style of upbringing that kind of gives it away. Posturing that gives it away, but there also we can be fooled. The lanky, tall, thin one who looks like she's a model has always had her pictures taken abroad. She's lanky, she's lean, she's tall. The one in India looks little Catholic, looks little Marathi, doesn't really look. But then anything is possible anyway. It's not about the net worth, to tell you quite frankly. Ancestrally, we're not bothered about the coins. We're bothered about the karmic currency. This is why I said when Taimur Ali Khan Pataudi was born, shamelessly you covered how many dolls of his given out in society? Openly. What do you think the hidden message in that was? Yet what is the coincidence that there is somebody looking like Saif Ali Khan with a little different face, but all the mannerisms are the same in Siberia? So you tell me. So here we had Saif's name is there over here. S-A-I-F, Saif, A-L-I, Ali, Khan जो है K-A-N, no H. पटाउडी नाम यहाँ पे नहीं है. Okay, now what we will do is we'll move on from here. Skittling whittling they've already done before. Let's see what is it with SK. Q A U English Fa NANG SK Lit E. So is this tile on tile? Is deepfake something like tile on tile? So they say if I want to change this style, right, and I want to put what's it called, wooden floorboard, then we don't have to break everything over here. We can just tell them to bring the boards, and then on this tiles only they'll put the other tile without getting rid of these original builder tiles. That's called tile on tile. So my aunt used to talk about tile on tile all the time during the 90s. Mrs. Ritu Malia. She herself got tile on tile done. She used to say, also do it for Jaswell also. No, you'll have those dirty mosaic Italian style from the 50s and all. Why don't you update your house? Koshanti used to say, when you get married, then your husbands will come to stay. And Papa, how he'll walk through all your bedroom and all, one bedroom into another, into another. You should make it 3 different bedrooms so everybody has their privacy in case you after you get married, you go and meet Papa, no? In case you're living abroad or you're living in another city, you will want to come and meet your father. So how you all will stay one room going into another, and living room in the opposite direction. No connection between the living space, and so you do something so that you have privacy after you get married. Now it's not so much time. So that's when they used to talk about tile on tile. Then Kela Shanti actually got it done, tile on tile. She changed everything. In the bedrooms primarily. Took out all the carpeting, got rid of it, and then did tile on tile, I think, instead. So, did KG tile on tile himself for SK? Did AG do that? It is possible. Did NA do that? Maybe. That would be for SRK, I would think. Fa could have also done this. Fa could have also done this. Kef could have been somebody. But in this only, I have a feeling those who were working as EAs but were from good families for the original star, and the original star would have picked up their EAs from okay backgrounds because there is a safety factor in it. Nobody wants an employee who's going to be gobbling the assets of the original. Everybody wants people who are happy in their own place in life, so that, and they're aware that they're doing a job for somebody else. What they earn on the job is okay, but extra, no, it doesn't make sense. Earn your place. They must have chosen accordingly and must have worked well up to a point, because the ones who are their EAs come from, Kabir had nothing missing in his house. He's from a well settled background, much better than the Advanis, if we look at it only from my father's point of view. What these guys did is they got rid of the stars as well as their EAs from the earlier years, and all of them were resourceful in varying degrees and did not need to depend on each other or grab from each other. It is that lot that they got rid of. And in their place, people who had the need and the want put themselves in that place, and then it never stopped. Because in that category, at the bottom of the pyramid, there are too many mouths to feed, and there's too much chaos at the bottom of the pyramid. Now you understand. I suppose you already know this. It's not about that. As I said, when it comes to people like Mr. Hukumat Rai Advani and his descendants, it's not about the coins. It's about the realms earned once we go back to spirit, genuinely Advait, where everybody goes back to spirit. There is no other form. We're all spirit. Once we leave the form, whether it is a worm, whether it is a tiger, whether it is a lion, whether it is a cat, whether it's a dog, whether it's a pig, whether it's the fly, whether it is a man, whether it is a woman, whether it is a child, whether it is an adult, whether it is a thief, whether it is a corporate honcho. wherever in that pyramid you're from and in whatever form you are, the Advait state is where everybody has to go to soul. So where in the soul do you earn is actually the concern of those who ancestrally and for quite some time have managed to keep it that when you go to soul, you go to a happy, peaceful place. That is the real wealth. This is just a journey. It's not about your coins. It is in that state which is closest to Advait, being the soul, where in those 14 realms and beyond do you end up having earned your home. And that's for the long time. Simply once you go there, even the gods in the highest realms wait for a human form in the appropriate timeline because it becomes a breather. So when you are going to the higher realms, but you are happy to get a human form so you can enjoy a breather, enjoy the things that earth affords you, even the gods wait for it. Then how much more painful is it going to be if you are going to the lower realms and you are in the same waiting list till the time is appropriate that you get a form for a breather. So the concern is, at least for Hukumat Rai Advani's family, nobody wants to go to realms where in waiting in the soul they're uncomfortable. They don't want to join that. So that's the real question. Okay? And Mr. Hukumat Rai Advani's family is very small. Frankly, it's for 60%. I'm representing 60% of those Atmas around the world today who are in some form. But according to my readings, when they move, they're going away to the higher realms. So I'm actually representing them and how they think on the whole. And what is true wealth. Okay? Now, I don't know if till is got to do with Saturn played its role, because we give black till for Saturn only, or is it lit? Neither SK nor KG is in the body anymore, is what I've been told. At least not my cousin brother. This is what I've been. Katrina, Kef is not my family. I'm JAYA.ADVANI. I have my own ways. I'm supposed to be Vairi. Vairi means in my own world. Like this happy sun. You break it, it still has a template of a happy, closed eyes, happy smile with no color in it. कबीर कर करके वो कबीर जो है कबीर खान होवे, कबीर गुप्ता नहीं है. Kabir, my cousin, is a Advani, half Gupta. And so is Umesh, half Advani, half Hingorani. Okay, Q, A, English, SK, KG, Lit, E, or then there is fan, lie, ET. You just be careful, huh? So if we understand this, no, Kabir Khan jo hai, KK banta hai, but that's not here. KG is Kabir Gupta, SG is Subhash Gupta, KG is Koshi Gupta, SK is Salman Khan. This fan is this idiot all the time sitting and recording stuff that's not true. अभी हमारे मुंह से कफ के आवाज़ निकालती है, The pendulum said no, that Katrina Kaif जो है और उसकी जो बहन है Isabella all the time playing bells from my body, it is going back to Northern Europe, England, Wales. Again she played sounds from my body. So my mother's told me no putting you people up in my home, not for anything. Bolu Shirdi Sai Baba bolta hai, if there's a problem anywhere, then you should be okay with kind of sharing things with people till they are settled better. But my pendulum said absolutely not. Okay. So this is the fan connected to the fan in my laundry room, connected to the fan in my bedroom. इतना आवाज़ करता है पूरा रात भगता रहता है. And connected to my main door and something outside my main door, then connected to my these glasses and connected to telephony and IP and connected to something they fitted in my body. Ab bolo, and my legs and my ears and my neck and my upper shoulder blade. You're okay? And best thing is, at least if it is just noise factor and pollution, उसको ना कचरे के डब्बे के अंदर फेंकूं. But these people actually are recording it in some SD and some SATA drive. Now what you want me to do? Why you are making me talk like Nikhil? One version of Nixie Nikhil. Nikhil Advani, my cousin is Nikki. Now these guys who were so happy from England or the ATS from India, I don't know, I think you better understand, ये जो humanity and welfare humanity जो होता है ना, it is beyond religion, beyond borders. Why don't you regroup yourselves as godly people or those serving the anti-god, and why don't you find the miscreants instead? कंस जो था और कृष्णा जो था, कृष्णा का जो माँ का जो ब्रदर जो था, you know, if you don't do what I am saying, you will be actually supporting the anti-god. He revels in the divide and rule. He gets most happy on the back of it. So indirectly you start supporting his cause. As long as you know you're okay with it, okay. But if you're not, then, because as I said, even in my setup, it's not about those dimes, it's not about the coins, it's not about the currency for this journey. It's about what happens afterwards. It's very much like how they create the diversionary tactics, the disruption, to keep you well engaged in things that are actually a waste of time, so that they have a red carpet to do what they want, and those things where they do all the damage, if I can say so, is never spoken about. So if you remember what it in 90s, what was I told? Jaya and Varsha are going to be the stepsisters. It is Shilpa who's going to become the queen and the princess. So I said, okay, Papa, fine, good. Oh, princess bane, queen bane, Varsha and I are having fun playing throw ball. We are happy, right? In our living room, we play throw ball, table tennis, and my dad is always saying, be careful of the artifacts, be careful, you'll break this, break that, whatever, but we're enjoying, we're having good fun. Who he didn't mention was Arti Nantur. Yet today, when we are looking at Blacklist, that was in the 90s, 92, 93 sometime, or 92, 93. Now we're in 2025. Till now, we never felt, oh, Arta ka face. Earlier we mentioned that it is possible that Arta, did she lend her face to Preeti Zinta at some point in time? That we came to a conclusion only one year ago. Before that, there's no question of it. Then we started putting our own timeline together of who disappeared when and who suddenly became fat, right? So from that time to now, all the way to 2023, where Arti Arta, now they say she's in spirit and she's been sent off. And with her, there were other people also involved in her network who have passed on. They were primarily boys, the male gender in the human form. They're the ones who fought with Shirdi Sai Baba and were not happy with the spirit realm that has been awarded to them. She has been awarded a future birth in the human form, but one of beggary, to make good what she has done in this life. For most of it, I think, I don't know what it is. That's what the pendulum was saying. But she's okay with it primarily because compared to those who are going away in spirit to a lower realm, to be in the wait list before they can get any kind of form, compared to that, hers is pretty expedited. She gets a human form, she finishes things properly, appropriately, hopefully, comes out of whatever it is she's to come out, and then moves on to better forms and better things. It's only as much as you owe. Not one penny more, not one penny less. You say, no, not a penny more, not a penny less. Something of that sort. But the very fact that she's okay with it, that means how bad the others must be. And the very fact that they got Shirdi Sai Baba's photo to fall 2 times. One, the big frame which is plastered to the wall. The second one being his tall, long photo, something like this. It's on a stand. That also was fallen flat yesterday when I went to take out the cloth. It was not so when I had rearranged the cloth, otherwise I would have seen it. It happened during the day. It did not happen earlier in the morning because I had put the cloth out day before night. Then yesterday in the morning I rearranged the cloth. But at that time everything was fine. So this thing had fallen afterwards. When I went to remove the cloth, I see that, oh, this is fallen face down. So we have put it now on another side. So there has been some things that have happened. It is not, I cannot see it. But with some things that happen, we come to know, and then the reading also supporting what the topic is. The pendulum also supports it. You say, okay, it must be that way. Now, I have been watching Netflix for quite some time, but I never went and watched Blacklist all this time. When the time is right, we went and watched Blacklist. Otherwise, we would have said, oh, but this is the looking like that much earlier. But we didn't. Okay, so anyway, this is another thing. Oh yeah, English fa SKKG glint ET. यहाँ पे फैगू फैगू फागू फागू कुछ नहीं है. और फागू कहाँ से आता है? स्विट्जरलैंड. बट आई हैव नेवर बीन टू स्विट्जरलैंड. This ET primarily is either with voice changing things around और देन विद दैट डीप फेक ये लोग थोड़ा मस्ती कर रहा है, लेकिन डीप फेक तो हर किसी को पता है. तो दैट्स नॉट द थिंग. दैट इज़ नाउ वेरी आउटडेटेड. असली चीज़ तो कुछ और है. Yeah, English Fiat SKKG Glen. Yes, Koshi auntie also had a Fiat. My father also had two Fiats before we moved to the other brands. Yeah, English Fat AISKKG Glen. Some fat, so you're making them SK and KG, but he's actually fat, and his real name is Glenn. हाँ ये देख, what is this? This is very important. They were trying to tell you, I think, about the glasses and about the biometrics and the misuse of it in some way. लेंस कार्ड के अंदर एसके भी है, कैट भी है. इन दोनों ने ऐड किया था कि नहीं किया था? They were trying to warn you in 2011-12 itself, 15-16 itself, through the ads. Your glasses become transmitters if you've not already been jabbed, where something can watch your every thought and read every thought of yours, as well as some images. In my case, whatever has happened is more advanced, so they can actually manipulate clips belonging to other people played in my sleep, but it's not mine. Somebody else's memory clip played on me while I sleep. किया है, बहुत किया है. They love disturbing while we sleep. They love it. I don't think it is lens cat, because Fig is lens cat, then they are okay. Problem is the shapeshifters for the original. According to me, in SK's case and in any actor's case who's from a good birth, his EAs were from a good birth, were moneyed people from few generations or even 2 generations. They were the ones who were most at risk, because they're the ones with the assets, irrespective of whether you were the star or you were the EA for the star. It depends what your net worth was, because that net worth, whether you are the EA or whether you are the actual star, that net worth can feed how many mouths, which Agret Modi calls, and some other people call it, social justice and bridging the gap of inequality between the rich and the poor. ऐसे खाना खाओ तो आज के लिए पेट भरेगा, लेकिन फिर 10 कल्पा के जो कर्ज है वो चुकता करना पड़ेगा आत्मिक रूप से. ऐसे जगह पे nobody wants to go there. Now, I don't know if there is over here Yen and Fig. So, was it a Japanese girl and an Indian boy who did the role of the lens cat? I don't know if there is anything called taksil. Yin Fig Taksil English and Aarti Nanthur or Nikhil Advani. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this now off for here. It's afternoon time, it's lunch time. So I think I've eaten lunch. It's about 13, actually, yeah, 13:16, but it's about 13:25, nearly 1:30 in the afternoon. So I'll probably watch some, I'll just rest for a while and could return in the evening or could just take a break and come back tomorrow. Okay.